Very good morning, all my dear students. My name is Rajneesh Tyagi, and I welcome to you all once again for the online classes. And here we are going for the paragraph, the chapter, the enemy. I am Will, he said joyously, said, drew his kimono around his weary body. He could not, he decided suddenly, go through another night. It was not that he cared for his young man's life, no, simply it was not worth the strain. You are well, Sadao agreed. He lowered his voice. You are so well that I think if I put my boat on the shore tonight with food and extra clothing in it, you might be able to row to that little island not far from the coast. And that the white man was preparing to go back to his home, and he was requesting if I will put some materials with me, if I will put some clothes and some food, some extra foods with me, definitely I will be able to go properly back to my house. It is so near the coast that it has not been worth for flying, and the coast is not so far. It is so near to your house. Nobody lives on it because in the storm it is some board, and no one is there because the storms and the climate of that time is not so good. Climate of that shore is not so good for is not suitable for the poor people. But this is not the season of a storm. You could live there until you saw a Korean fishing boat pass by. But this is not the time of the storm or tempest, and you may easily go to you may easily go wherever you want to go. They pass quite near the island because the water is many fathoms deep there. The young man stared at stared at him slowly, comprehending. Do I have to? He asked. I think so, Sadao said gently. You understand. It is not hidden that you are here. And Sadao said, you know that very well, that everybody knows about you, that you are living with me in this house. And I think it is the better option, it is the better thing for you that you should go back to your home because who who don't know who doesn't have any idea about you that you are staying with me here, so it will be good for you, I think. So Sadao was agree that that person must go back to his own house. The young man nodded in perfect comprehension. Okay, he said simply, and he said simply because he understood all the things and situations very well, and he was also agree with Dr. Sadao that he must have gone back to his own house. Sadao did not see him again until evening, and till the evening he did not meet with Dr. Sadao. As soon as it was dark, he had dragged the boat down to the shore, and in it he put food and bottled water that he had bought secretly during the day, and he got all the things, whatever the things was necessary for him during the journey, and he got some bottles of water as food, clothes along with him, as well as two quilts he had bought as a pawn shop, and he took two quilts also, because it was the journey of the seas, and as a voyager you supposed to have these things, whatever he has got from him. The boat he tied to a post in the water, for the tide was high. There was no moon, and he walked without a flashing. There was no moon, there was no moonlight in that time, and he was doing everything without any flashlight, and it means without any help of the light. And when he came to the house he entered as thought he were just back from his walk, and so Hana knew nothing. Yumi was here today, and Yumi was presented today in that house, and he knew that now he will go back to his own work, his own job. She said as she served this supper, thought she was so modern. Still, she did not eat with him, and she did not go for the dinner with him tonight. That night, Yumi cried over the baby. She went on with a sign she misses him so. And Yumi was missing to that baby very much. The servants will come back as soon as the foreigner is gone, Sadao said. And Sadao knew that if the foreigner, that white man, will go back to his home early, then servants will also come back to our house, and they won't run. They wanted to do like that now. Who? The family of Sadao and himself, Dr. Sadao also. He went into the guest room that night before he went to bed himself and checked carefully the American's temperature, the state of the wound, and his heart and pulse. The pulse was irregular, but that was perhaps because of excitement. The young man's pale lips were pressed together and his eye burned. Only the scars on his neck were red. And the excitement of that white man was very unique, because he knew that those people, the family of Dr. Sadao and Dr. Sadao, they saved his life, and now he's going back to his own house. It was a very different, and it was a very unique experience in his life, because the people who have saved him, they were the enemy of that person, but they have given first opportunity to their job, to their work, to their deed. And because of that, the person who was going back to his home was excited and having a very great experience in his life. I realize you are saving my life again, he told Sadao. And he knew that who that white man, he knew that very well, that Dr. Sadao has saved his life. Not at all, Dr. Sadao said. It is only inconvenient to have you here any longer. He had hesitated a good deal about giving the man flashlight, but he had decided to give it, and he was hesitating firstly who Dr. Sadao to give him the flashlight, but finally he decided to give him the flashlight to him. And after all, it was a small one, his own, which he used at night when he was called. If your food runs out before you catch a boat, he said, uh, signal me. Two flashes at the same instant. The sun drops over the horizon. Do not signal in darkness, for it will be seen. And he said, please do not show your flashlight into the in darkness, because you will easily captured by someone, so it will be dangerous for you also. If you are all right but still there, signal me once, and you are okay, you are not having any problem, just give me a flashlight only for once, only for a time, to make me assure that you are safe and you're good there. You will find fresh fish easy to catch, but you must eat them raw. A fire would be seen. Okay, the young man breathed. The young man breathed like that. Okay, because it was a very unique experience to both the people, to both the men who were having great different experience in the life, and finally he was ready to go back to his own house. He was dressed now in the Japanese clothes which Sadao had given him, and he had put on the dress of the Japanese people, which was given by Dr. Sadao to him, and that at the last moment Sadao wrapped a black cloth about his blonde head. And he wrapped a black color of rose in on his blonde head, because due to the blonde head he could have easily identified to other people that someone is from the foreigner, someone is foreigner, someone is from the American. Now Sadao said, the young man American, without a word, shook Sadao's hand warmly, and they handshake together, and then walked quite well across the floor and down the step into the darkness of the garden. Once, twice, Sadao saw his light flash to find his way, but that would not be suspected. He waited until from the shore there was one more flash. Then he closed the partitions. That night he slept, and he went to the boat quietly through the garden from one or two steps. And when he saw the first flashlight, he was also waiting for the second flashlight, because um, emotionally he was attached with that white man. That's why he was looking for the one more flashlight. Even he told him, do not give the second flashlight to Dr. Sadao. You say the man escaped, the general asked faintly. He had been operated upon a week before, an emergency operation to which Sadao had been called in the night for 12 hours. Sadao had not been sure the journal would live. The gallbladder was much involved. Then the old man had begun to breathe deeply again and to demand food. Sadao had not been able to ask about the assassins for so far as he knew they had never come. And Sadao now he was not requesting for any assistance to the general because there was no need for any assistance for in his house because that white man was totally safe and he wanted to make him release safely because he saved his life. So that's why he was also realizing this thing that if he has saved his life, so it is the responsibility of that person that he must have sent him back to his own house carefully and without any problem. So far as he knew, they had never come. The servants had returned, and Yumi had cleaned the guest room thoroughly. And he knew that the man who have gone from his house, he will never come back to his house because he was a foreigner and he was emotionally attached with that man because he saved his life and. The servants of that house come back to the home thoroughly Yumi cleaned the house and the guest room of that person. So far into the gate and the white man's smell out of it, and she was that room with the sulfur because she wanted to make that room free from the smell of that white man. Nobody said anything, only the gardener was cross because he had got behind with the uh, chrysanthemums. But after a week, Sadao felt the general was well enough to be spoken to about the prisoner. Yes, Excellency, he escaped, Sadao now said. And now Sadao pleaded to the journal that the person, that the white man has escaped from my house. He said, but was unwilling to disturb the general further. But the old man opened his eyes suddenly. The prisoner, he said with some energy, did I not promise you I would kill him for you? And Sadao wanted to hide these things that Sadao wanted to hide these things from general that he has escaped. I personally sent him back to his own house. He said to the journal that he has escaped from my house, and the journal was trying to have the use and the profit of this advance of this thing because the white man has escaped from his house, so I should say that I have helped you to kill that person. But Sadao knew very well nobody has killed him. He went back to his home, and I personally sent him. But Sadao generally was showing like that I have killed him. That's why he is not in your house, and he is killed by me. But Sadao was missing him a lot, lots of missing him so much, and because he sent him personally to his own house. You did, Excellency, Sadao said, and Sadao was showing that he doesn't know anything, and he said to General, yes, I know, Excellency, you did this thing, you killed him, that's why he's not in my house. Well, the old man said in a tone of amazement, so I did, and he said, yes, I did, I killed him. But you see, I was suffering a good deal. The truth is, I thought of nothing but myself. In short, I forgot my promise to you. And he said again that I think I forgot to fulfill my promise to you. I wondered, your excellency, how murmured. It was certainly was careless of me, the general said, but you understand it was not uh, lack of patriotism or dedications of duty. He looked anxiously at his doctor. If the matter should come out, you would understand that, won't you? And he said, if matter will come out automatically, then you will come to know that. Will you not come to know about the things? Certainly, your excellency, Sadao said. He suddenly comprehended that the journal was in the palm of his hand and that as a consequence he himself was perfectly safe. I can swear to your loyalty, Excellency, he said to the old general, and to your zeal against the enemy. You're a good man, the general murmured and closed his eyes. You will be rewarded. And the general said, after all, you are a very good person, you are a very good man. And because he was your enemy, he was the enemy of this country, and you fulfilled the duty of humanity first, and later you saved your countrymen also. You are a very good person and you should be definitely rewarded. But Sadaur is searching the spot of black in the in the light sea that night, and had his reward. There was no prick of light in the dusk. No one was on the island. His prisoner was gone, safe doubtless, for he had warned him to wait only for a Korean fishing boat. And he said, he told to that white man that only wait for me on the shore of the fishermen. But there was no any one more flashlight from that person. He was safe or not, this is the doubt in my mind. But Sadao was happy at that moment, and General was also happy. He stood for a moment on the veranda, gazing out to the sea from whence the young man, had come that other night. And he was watching that place when that young man could have come from another night. And into his mind, although without reason, they came other white faces he had known. The professor at whose house he had met Hannah, a dull man, and his wife had been a silly, talkative woman. In spite of her wish to be kind, he remembered his old teacher of anatomy, and he was this time remembering his old teacher of the America when he was taking the degree of as a doctor in America along with his wife Hannah. And he is right now missing those days, who had been so assistant of mercy with the knife. And then he remembered the face of his fat and certainly a landlady. He had had great difficulty in finding a place to live in America because he was Japanese, and he was also missing this thing in his mind that he was traveling in the America. He was having so many problems to live in America on the rent, because this is the tendency of the Americans people. They do discriminations with the other people of the country. And he's now he's missing all those things. He's missing all those moments of his life. The Americans were full of prejudice, and it had been bitter to live in it, knowing himself their superior. How he had despised the ignorant and dirty old woman who had at last consented to house him in her miserable home. He had once tried to be graceful to her because she had, in his last year, nursed him through. And he's missing. He's telling to us that he's happy because he did a great job with that person. He saved his life. Okay, it was a very experience with him in his personally in his life, that when he was staying in America to become a doctor, he was struggling with many problems. He was having so many problems there. He was not able to find out a proper room and proper shelter to him, because the Americans do discriminations with the other people of the country. But he is happy today because he did not behave like that, because he is the good human being, and he has given first of priority to his the humanity, and he has worked a lot for the other people. And the thing whatever he has done today, it was the most memorable and peaceful thing for his and for his life through influenza. But it was difficult, for she was no less repulsive to him in her kindness. Now he remembered the youthful, haggard face of his prisoner, white and repulsive, straight. He thought, I wonder why I could not kill him. And even he was having a very bad experience of the Americans people, with the people of America when he was staying there. But he was surprised himself that why I did not behave like them, because they were cruel to me in America. He was surprised. Dear students, actually, this is the moral of the story is that the first thing in our life is the humanity. Okay, if you, someone is your enemy, someone is your foe, so just give your priority first of all to your humanity, to be always a good human being, because if the people are doing bad with you, you do not supposed to behave with them badly, because you can win the heart of other people by your good nature, by your good behavior. And this is the moral of the story which has been completed today. And Dr. Sadao taught us that be always good for the people, do be always good for the people of the world, because this whole world is our family and all our brothers and sisters, and you do supposed to behave with them with your own family members. This is the story, and finally we have completed. And dear students, and this is the question of the day. Please give your answer in the comment box. Question is that why was Dr. Sadao surprised at the end of the story? Please give your answers in that comment box. And I wish that you are good at your home, you're living healthy and wealthy. Stay blessed. God bless you all. Take care. Have a great day. Bye bye.